Galvanic cell generates electric current due to redox reaction which is taking place. During the process, what is happening? Zinc electrode is becoming thinner and thinner and copper electrode is becoming thicker and thicker. Whenever there is a salt bridge used, between the two half cells we put a double line. The one with the lower reduction potential can be used as anode. The one with the higher reduction potential should be used as the cathode. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 2 on the chapter electrochemistry. Last class we studied about the single electrode potential and the standard hydrogen electrode. Today we shall learn about the galvanic cells. So what is galvanic cell? Galvanic cell is a device in which chemical energy is converted to electrical energy. That means you are drawing electric current because of the chemical process which is taking place, isn't it? Such cell, what is it called as? It's called as the galvanic cell. Okay? Galvanic cell generates electric current due to redox reaction which is taking place. Okay? Example, we have Daniell cell, dry cell, etc. So first we learn about the Daniell cell. About dry cell and other batteries we'll study towards the end. Okay. So first is construction of a galvanic cell. So how exactly do you construct a galvanic cell? Last class I have given you a small gist about it, but now I'll be talking about it in detail. Okay. So galvanic cell can be constructed by uniting an oxidation electrode with a suitable reduction electrode. So there are two electrodes in which one oxidation is taking place and the other one reduction is taking place. The one in which the oxidation is taking place, we call it as anode, and the one in which the reduction is taking place, we call it as cathode. So what is it? Anode is an electrode in which oxidation takes place and cathode is the electrode in which the reduction reaction takes place. So you have to unite to construct a galvanic cell. You should have an electrode in which oxidation takes place, the electrode in which the reduction takes place. The solution involved in two electrodes can be made in communication with each other either by direct contact through a porous diaphragm or through a salt bridge. So what is this salt bridge exactly? Now, this is my one electrode, this is my other electrode which I am going to take. The two electrodes in which one oxidation takes place, one reduction is taking place. Now, these two metals are made in contact through the wire. Now, the solution, to complete my circuit, even the solutions has to be made in contact, to which we add a salt bridge. What is this called as? Salt bridge. Okay. What exactly is this salt bridge? We'll understand. A salt bridge is U-shaped glass tube. Okay. It is U-shaped like this glass tube. Okay. It is filled with concentrated solution of inert electrolytes such as KCl, KNO3, etc. Okay. So here what is it? Usually we take a gel, agar-agar gel we take and we make it, the gel is made with the solution of KCl or KNO3. Okay, so we can take, we have potassium ions, chloride ions. For example, if it is KCl, we have potassium ions and chloride ions. That is because it is made up of KCl, potassium chloride, or it can be made with potassium nitrate also. It completes the electrical circuit by allowing the ions to flow from one half cell to another half cell and maintains the electrical neutrality of the solution present in the two half cells. So the electrical neutrality, what it has to be maintained in the two half cells, it is done by allowing these ions to flow. Okay, that is the main purpose of using a salt bridge. So what is the main function of salt bridge? Salt bridge maintains the electrical neutrality of the solution. It allows the ions to move to the respective electrode, okay, so that the neutrality can be maintained, and also it prevents something called as liquid junction potential also. Okay, so it is very important to complete the circuit for us. Next is, in galvanic cell, the electrode at which the oxidation takes place is called as anode, while in which the reduction process takes place, we call it as cathode. It is to be moved that, and anode is having a negative polarity and the cathode is having the positive polarity. It is exactly opposite of what we have already studied. So here anode is having the negative polarity, cathode is having the positive polarity, because from anode the electron starts moving, so it has got negative electrode and the cathode becomes the positive electrode. Or just to remember as oxidation and reduction very carefully, you can just remember this: an ox went after a red cat. Now, why am I writing this in electrochemistry, you might think, but an ox, at anode oxidation is taking place, reduction is taking place at cathode. Okay, just remember this way. It is very easy for galvanic cells or the electrochemical cells. Okay, next is about the Daniell cell. What is Daniell cell? Daniell cell consists of zinc metal dipped in zinc sulfate solution, that is 1 molar zinc sulfate solution. What is it? 1 molar zinc sulfate solution, and copper metal dipped in 1 molar copper sulfate solution, and both are connected through the wire through the voltmeter, and there is a salt bridge with potassium ions and chloride ions which is added so that the circuit is complete. Okay, now what exactly happens in this particular cell? Zinc has a tendency to lose electrons, so zinc metal will start losing electrons and go into the solution as zinc ions. So what happens? Eventually the zinc metal, what is there, this electrode becomes thinner and thinner because zinc metal is going into the solution as zinc ions by loss of electrons, and these electrons move through the wire and comes to the copper electrode. Now in copper electrode, what is happening? The solution contains Cu plus 2 ions will accept 2 electrons to form copper metal, and here the copper metal which is formed starts depositing on the electrode. So here during the process, what is happening? Zinc electrode is becoming thinner and thinner and copper electrode is becoming thicker and thicker. Why? Because zinc ions are going into the solution. Okay, that is the zinc metal will go into the solution as zinc ions by liberating 2 electrons. Those 2 electrons move through this wire, goes to the copper electrode. In the solution we have copper ions will accept the electrons to form copper metal which gets deposited on the electrode. In the anode, okay, this is anode because oxidation takes place. In the anode, the solution, what happens? Zinc ion concentration is increasing compared to sulfate ion. Sulfate ion concentration remains constant, but zinc ion concentration is increasing. That means the positive charge in the solution is increasing, whereas here all the copper ions are getting deposited as copper metal. So we have only sulfate ion which is left behind in this particular solution. So in this solution here, it becomes more and more rich in positive ions. Here it becomes rich in only negative ions because the positive ions are getting neutralized. So to avoid this, difference in the ions in the solution, the salt bridge will come into rescue. Here what happens is, because there are positive ions in excess, the chloride will start moving from the salt bridge and they will neutralize the solution. And here, because negative ions are rich in this solution, the K plus ions will start migrating and they will neutralize the solution. So that is the reason this particular salt bridge is added. Now let's see how we have to represent this cell and what is the potential which is developed in this cell. In the voltmeter, what is the potential? How much electric current you can withdraw because of this reaction? We will learn. So first we are learning about the cell representation. Always remember, in cell representation, first you need to write the anode. Okay? Then about the cathode. Okay, same way how your electrochemical cell also should be represented. Anode should always be there to our left side and the cathode should always be there to our right side. Okay, then the representation here, what we took, zinc dipped in zinc sulfate. So zinc metal was dipped in zinc sulfate solution, correct? So there is a phase difference. This is a solid, this is a liquid. That phase difference we put it with a single line. Okay. Same way, copper dipped in copper sulfate solution. So here single electrode you will write like this, copper dipped in copper sulfate solution. But in the cell, when you represent the metals, what is there should come to the either end. So you will be writing like this, copper here and copper sulfate solution here. And both are at 1 molar. So you will write the concentration here. Now this is how you had represented or you had set up the cell, correct? A Daniell cell. Now between this we had used a salt bridge. So we will have to put a double line like this. Whenever there is a salt bridge used, between the two half cells we put a double line. If there is no salt bridge used, we just put a single line. The single line is just showing us the phase difference. Okay. So you have to be very careful. The metals should come at the terminal. Then you have to write the solution. Double line is put when there is a salt bridge. And also below this you can write what is the concentration of the electrolyte which you have used. Okay. So here you can see zinc. Here Zn plus 2 or you can write zinc sulfate solution. Cu plus 2 with copper and the E naught of the cell is 1.10 volt. How we have calculated, I shall explain. Okay. So this is the cell representation. Now the reactions, what is happening? Oxidation, zinc is losing 2 electrons to form Zn plus 2 ions at anode. Copper is accepting 2 electrons to form copper metal at cathode. Correct? So when you add these two half reaction, electrons and electrons get cancelled. It looks like zinc is reacting with copper ions to form zinc ions and copper is getting deposited. Okay. So this is the cell reaction. What is the potential which is developed? That is, now how to calculate the EMF of the cell? E naught of copper, that is the electrode potential, single electrode potential when copper is dipped in copper sulfate solution is plus 0.34 volt at standard conditions. Okay. Similarly for zinc it is minus 0.76 volt. EMF of the cell calculation formula I had explained, that is E naught of the cell is equal to E naught right minus E naught left, or we can also write it as E naught of the cell is equal to E naught of cathode minus E naught of anode. Now here in Daniell cell, what did we use? E naught of Cu bar Cu plus 2 ions minus E naught of zinc bar Zn plus 2 ions. So for this value is 0.34 minus, this is minus 0.76, minus into minus it becomes plus. So if you add up, I'll get it as 1.1 volt. Here you can see the same thing, 1.1 volt. So the potential which is developed, okay, or the amount of electric current which you can withdraw from this Daniell cell is 1.1 volt. Okay. So that's about the EMF of the Daniell cell. Now you might ask me, ma'am, from where did you get these values? Do I need to remember this? Yes, for Daniell cell you need to remember this, but from where exactly I have got the values? Where is it present for all the other metals if you ask me? It is there in the electrochemical series. So we are going to learn about the electrochemical series. So here The electrochemical series is the arrangement of various electrode systems in the decreasing order of their standard reduction potential. So here what is it? The standard reduction potential is measured and all the elements are there arranged in decreasing order of their standard reduction potential. Here you can see fluorine F2 is accepting 2 electrons to become fluoride, has got the positive reduction potential, that is plus 2.87, whereas lithium ions is accepting electrons undergoing reduction to form lithium metal, has got a negative reduction potential. So it is there arranged in decreasing order of their reduction potential from a positive value to a negative value. And you can see all the reactions are reduction reactions here. Everything is accepting electrons, isn't it? Okay. Now, if you want to see, if we go from below to above, they all are stronger oxidizing agent. I can tell fluorine is a stronger oxidizing agent, or I can tell chlorine is a strong oxidizing agent. Whereas I can tell here lithium is a strong reducing agent. What is it? It is a strong reducing agent, I can tell. Okay. So that is how it is there. Now again you might ask me, ma'am, do I need to know the entire table? Not necessary for your board exams, but some of the values you need to remember when it comes for your competitive exams. One more thing what you can observe here is that hydrogen is there in between here. Okay. Now the important features of the electrochemical series which you can understand here is, now if you see the metals, okay, which is placed below hydrogen, okay, that is H plus ion accepting 2 electrons to form hydrogen, 0.0 volt, that is the standard hydrogen electrode. If you see below that, all the metals are those metals which can displace hydrogen gas from dilute acids. So if I take zinc metal and add it to dilute HCl, hydrogen gas will be liberated. All these metals which is there below hydrogen can displace hydrogen gas from dilute acids. Okay. Also, as we come down, all the metals what is there, their oxides are more stable. Okay. Also, one more thing what you can see is the metals which is there above hydrogen, they cannot displace hydrogen from dilute acids. One more thing what you can observe is the metal which is there below, okay, can displace the metal from its salt solution which is above it. For example, if I add zinc metal to copper sulfate solution, it will displace copper and zinc will go. What is it? If I take copper sulfate solution, okay, for this if I add zinc, see zinc is below hydrogen and copper is above it, correct? So here zinc can displace copper to precipitate as copper metal and itself can go into the solution. Okay. So the metal which is placed below can displace the metal ion from its solution when it is placed above it. Okay. So that is there. Also, as we go down the series, the electropositive character of the metal also increases, and also to construct a galvanic cell, okay, we can use this chart to select our anode and cathode. The one which undergoes oxidation very easily is the one which we have to take it as anode, and the one with the negative reduction potentials which is there, okay, that is placed below hydrogen, can be used as the anode, or it can be coupled with the metals which is there placed above hydrogen, which we can take it as cathode. Okay. So the ones which is there below hydrogen can be used as anode, and the ones which is there above hydrogen can be used as cathode, just looking into their potential. Or I can also tell that the one with the lower reduction potential can be used as anode, the one with the higher reduction potential should be used as the cathode. Okay. So that's about what you can understand with the electrochemical series. So once again, so what is it? The reactivity of the metal increases on moving down the series. Any metal placed below hydrogen in the series can displace hydrogen from dilute acids. The electropositive character increases as we go down the series. Again, metal can displace any other metal placed above it from its salt solution. The stability of the oxides of the metal increases as we go down the series. Also, a redox reaction is feasible when the substance having the higher reduction potential gets reduced and one with having the lower reduction potential gets oxidized. Okay, so these are the main features of the electrochemical series. Next is dependence of EMF on concentration and temperature. The EMF of the cell depends on mainly three factors, that is the nature of the metal and its ion, the concentration of ion in the solution, as well as the temperature. So, we have Nernst equation which we can calculate the electrode potential of a cell. Okay. So, first we will see Nernst equation for single electrode and then we will understand how do we put it for the cell. Okay. So, Nernst equation for single electrode. For example, this is the reaction which is happening. Metal ion is accepting electrons to form the metal. Okay. N is the charge. So, N electrons it is taking up. This is the general way of writing the equation. So, for this particular reaction, I can write the Nernst equation as the electrode potential of the single electrode is equal to standard electrode potential minus RT by NF Ln, that is the molar concentration of the product divided by molar concentration of the ions which is there in the solution. Okay. Now, you might ask me from where did we get this formula? See, in your syllabus, we have directly learning the Nernst equation. There is no derivation which is required. If you go for your higher education with chemistry, of course, you will be learning the entire derivation for Nernst equation. Okay. So, we have to learn that to get the electrode potential, it is equal to standard electrode potential minus RT by NF Ln molar concentration of the metal by molar concentration of the metal ions in the solution. Okay. Now, the concentration of the metal is in solid state. Molar concentration, how can you tell for a metal which is in solid state? It is not possible. That's why we always take it as unity. So, this above equation becomes E of the cell. The electrode potential is equal to E naught of the electrode minus RT by NF Ln 1 by M plus N. Here, E is reduction potential of the electrode, that is this. Okay. E naught is the standard electrode potential of the same electrode. Then R is gas constant. N is number of electrons which is involved in the electrode reaction. F is Faraday constant which is equal to 96487 coulomb per mole, or I can take it as round off 96,500 coulombs per mole. Okay. T is temperature in Kelvin scale and M to the power plus N is the concentration of the species, that is the concentration of the ions in the solution. Okay. So, E is the electrode or the reduction potential, E naught is the standard electrode potential minus R is gas constant, T is temperature, N is the number of electrons which is involved in the reaction, F is called as the Faraday constant which is equal to 96,500 and M plus N is the molar concentration of the solution, okay, in which the ions are there. Now, further, if I remove this Ln, that is natural logarithm, and if I do it into or convert it into log base 10, I'll get the formula as, so if I take natural logarithm base 10, then E is equal to E naught minus 2.303, that is natural logarithm, you multiply 2.303, you will get it as log base 10. So, you are getting 2.303 RT by NF log of 1 by M plus N. Okay. That's the molar concentration of the ions. Now, at 298 Kelvin, that is standard conditions you are taking, R value will be 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. Okay. Into temperature is 298 Kelvin you are keeping, and F. Okay, F value is 96,500 and here into 2.303. All of this if you solve, okay, that is 2.303 into 8.314 into 298 divide by 96,500, you will get the value 0.059. So at standard condition or at 298 Kelvin, the same equation you can write it like this, that is E is equal to E naught minus 0.059 by N log 1 by M plus N, molar concentration of M to the power plus N ions. Okay, so this is the Nernst equation at 298 Kelvin. This is the Nernst equation for the single electrode in normal condition, which you need to remember. Now this is for single electrode. What about the Nernst equation for the cell? That is, Nernst equation for the EMF of the cell, how to get it? For a galvanic cell, for example, this is the reaction which is taking place. Okay, and there are n electrons which is involved in the reaction. Okay, so the Nernst equation can be written as, so the Nernst equation for the EMF of the cell, how do we write it? That is, for example, this is the reaction which is taking place. Okay, and the n number of electrons are involved in the reaction. Then the formula will be E cell is equal to, so the Nernst equation for calculation of EMF of the cell, like a galvanic cell, how can we write? For example, this is the equation, that is AA plus BB giving CC plus DD, and this is the number of electrons involved in the reaction. Okay, then the Nernst equation can be written as E cell is equal to E naught of the cell minus RT by NF ln, molar concentration of the products raised to their appropriate powers, that is the stoichiometric coefficient, divided by molar concentration of the reactants raised to their appropriate powers. Okay, or I can also write this reaction as E cell is equal to E naught of the cell minus 2.303 RT by NF log of CC DD by AA and BB. Or I can also write it as the molar concentration of the products by molar concentration of the reactants raised to their appropriate powers. Okay, or at 298 Kelvin, that is at 25 degrees Celsius, I can also write it as, so at 298 Kelvin, that is 25 degrees Celsius, we can also write it as E cell, E naught of the cell minus 0.059, that is 2.303 into 8.314 into 298 divided by 96,500. If I do, I'll get this, divide by n log of C to the power C, D to the power D, A to the power A and B to the power B. Or we can also write it as E cell is equal to E naught of the cell minus 2.303 RT by NF log of anode ions minus the cathode ions. Anyhow you want, you can remember this. But if they ask you to write the Nernst equation, you should write it properly and explain what are its terms. Okay, so that's about the Nernst equation. Numerical based on this, we shall do it in the next class. Okay, so coming class, we'll be learning about the equilibrium constant from Nernst equation, electrochemical cell and Gibbs free energy of the reaction. Also, we will do some of the numericals. Okay, thank you my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.